Hi guys, I'm Morgan Crosbie from Finch Chevrolet in London, Ontario, Canada, and you're watching Cars in Crosby. You guys may have tuned in and saw an episode that I uploaded for a short stint. If you guys don't remember it, it was like this. I don't know what the heck was going on, but the episode, I couldn't get it to air. Every time I flipped it around, it would go back upside down. I have no idea what the heck was going on with that episode. So I'm gonna summarize for you guys what was in that episode, because I still, to this day, I still cannot get it to upload properly. We've got another all Corvette episode. I've got 2 Corvettes that are coming off the truck right now, and we're gonna go through some exciting production updates in terms of delivery. So you have a Corvette that's on its way in. If you're looking to design a Corvette or get a proper ETA, or you're a Canuck, this is gonna be a really great episode, as I'm gonna talk a lot about the updated delivery process with these Corvettes, and we're also gonna go through the 2 Corvettes that we have coming off the truck today. So on all Corvette episodes, stay tuned, we got a great one coming. Okay, sorry guys, that truck only had 1 Corvette on it. I had 2 in transit. I must have not been looking properly. I only had 1 arrive. That means there's another truck that's gonna be coming soon, but I always upload these episodes the day that they arrive. So thankfully this one's not gonna be upside down like the last one. We're gonna make sure this one's right side up, and we'll get this out to you right away, especially if you're looking for a Torch Red C8 convertible, because I've got one here now. We'll go through that one, but I got to get to the meat and potatoes first. We're talking about transit times. Now, I was in the middle of a delivery on that Satin Steel Platinum. I was delivering it up to Collingwood. I hand deliver all of my high-end vehicles. I don't normally do it with the C8 because everyone wants to take their maiden voyage from the lot, and I don't blame them. So I was delivering that one up, the Corvettes landed, and I heard for the second time now, after Fishman said it for the first time, that they were going to be starting to deliver all Corvettes through Jack Cooper Transport. And I'm going to use the Escalade as an example for 2 different reasons. One, an example for the price increases, and second, an example of why rail is not the best. It may be more fuel efficient in terms of costs for General Motors, but they're not looking at costs as much as they're looking at the overall experience now. And that to me is a really good sign. There's a lot of really good things that General Motors is doing in terms of logistics, and it makes sense given the size of the company. So General Motors had a $900 price increase in Canadian dollars on the Escalade. And I looked into that a little bit further, and the major component of that had to do with the fact that they're now airlifting a lot of the components that they used to ship by boat for the Escalade. And that's an example of General Motors wanting to make sure that the delivery experience is a lot more efficient. You think about inflation being, roughly over 2% right now on a $100,000 vehicle. That's pretty amazing that it's a $900 price increase, and most of that cost is going to making it so that you can get the vehicle faster. So they're not even trying to increase their profits. They're just trying to recover some of the costs that they've incurred by making it come to you faster. Now on the Corvette side, they are no longer going to rail them to you. So they're going to be shipping them direct. And for me, I've been very fortunate being in London, Ontario. We're 10 hours away from Bowling Green, and we've always had them shipped by truck. Now, if you live in a further area away from Bowling Green, the normal process is it goes onto the truck, it then goes to a rail yard, and then from the rail yard, they unload it, then they put it onto a rail yard car, I guess a train, and then they may have an inspection. I'll get back to that later on. And then from there, it's then unloaded to another rail yard and then put on another truck and then delivered to the dealership. So you can see where I'm going with this. There's a lot of hands that change with it, and it's a lot more opportunity for things to go wrong. I'm always going to tell you the good, bad, and the ugly. I think we got a train coming. I'm always going to tell you the good, bad, and the ugly. And the reason why I'm saying that is because I want to make sure that if you are going to have an experience, you don't have any surprises. You know everything that's going to go by. I think this is going to be a fast one. Fast one this time. All right, so if I can give you a heads up on everything possible, that's one of the things that I always pride myself in, is I want to make sure that you're aware of all the scenarios. So there's no curveballs in your delivery experience. And with them being shipped by rail, there's a lot more opportunity for something to go wrong. Now, where I'm going with this is, I've already said that there's a lot of hands that are changed over, but if you know the logistics of the layout of a rail yard car, they have to go down the sides of them like this when they're getting in and out of it. And they also have customs inspections, for example, in Canada. And we've seen on the Tahoes, Escalades, and Yukons that are coming from Arlington, Texas, there's an increase in transit damage lately. And we're attributing a lot of it to the border inspections that are going through there. And we've heard also from for them that they're not very excited, happy individuals at their job. There's some issues with their work, their labor or something. I think there's a work to rule or something that they're working on. I can't believe that the border inspection agencies are having that kind of issue, but that's what I've been told. So again, don't blame me if that's not the case, but I've been told that there's a lot of people that are not as caring when they're inspecting these vehicles, and they're going down the side of a Tahoe or an Escalade, and they're getting awfully close, and we're seeing a lot of transit damage on them. Now, where I think that this is going to be the biggest win is that you're not having that kind of situation ever be the case. Now, these Corvettes are put in a cocoon, and I'm not saying that that's the case for anyone that had it shipped previously, that you need to look at the side of your vehicle and make sure that there wasn't any of that. But I'm just saying that if you don't have that opportunity exist, then you don't have to worry about there being any damage. And when you have it go from the factory onto the truck, have someone like Fishman deliver it right to your dealership, not only is it faster, which we all can agree is a great thing, but I can increase the chances of there being no issues and the vehicle arrives the way that it came from the factory. And that to me is what I would take away from this more than ever. GM is working their best to make sure that this process is even more efficient than it was before, and they're transferring some of that cost onto you, and that's unfortunate. But if I really had to do the math on it, the amount of memories that I could create with my vehicle and having it 2 or 3 weeks earlier over the cost that's involved with that, I would take that any day. So that's the great news. That's what I wanted to pass along, and that was what the summary of that last episode that I did that was upside down. I don't know how it happened. I tried every single way to do it. I tried 5 or 6 times. I'm still trying it to this day to try to get that episode to air just so that you guys can see it, because I was quite excited to see a curveball of Corvettes arrive onto the plant. But we're gonna go through this Torch Red convertible now and just show you guys what we have coming through the pipes. Again, I have 1 more that's in transit right now and 4 more that are getting built this week. I got my Corvette over there. Some people have been saying it looks like a convertible. I'm honored to think that that's the case. She just came off of about a 1,000-kilometer voyage. You'll see that the Vossens are a little dusty. I did just get, I don't have my keys with me. I did just get the valve stem caps from Vossen, so I'm going to be changing those over. And I also heard a rumor about ACS Composite side rocker pinholes. It sounds to me like he's having some batches that are getting complete, and so that means that in the next few somethings, I don't know if it's weeks, days, or months, unfortunately, there is going to be some rocker panels. I have over 30 people now that are waiting for them, and there's a lot of people that are not wanting to do the front splitter until they get the side rockers. So I'm in the same boat as you guys are. I don't have a complete build on mine yet. I apologize on behalf of Joseph and ACS Composites, but you know what, at the end of the day, I've always said this, you want to do it right the first time and not have to go back. So if there's an issue and he's going to find a way that we don't have to drill into the side of the Corvette, and it's a Canadian product, even if you're an American, that's a good thing because of the exchange rate. Right now it's at $1.25. So think of this, you get 25% off if you buy this Canucks ground effects kit over the American one. So just keep that in the back of your mind when you're thinking about it. It's not just because he's Canadian that I want to do it. It makes sense. And he was also a tier 1 supplier when the Camaros were built in Quebec. So the Camaros in the 4th generation were built in Quebec, and that's where he got into it. So it's not just because I'm a fan of him being a Canuck. He also used to work with General Motors. He still does a lot of things for GM, and it's a local made product. So that's why I'm always for him. If you guys are always wondering why I'm always speaking great bounds about him. So let's go over this one. This is a Torch Red convertible. It is got all the black accents on it. So we've got the carbon flash badging. We've got the carbon flash accents here. We've got the painted mirror and the Z51 spoiler also being done. We've got the Adrenaline Red on the interior. And it's a 3LT. You can tell it's a 3LT right away because the dash and the doors and everything are all lined. Always kind of look at the headliners and stuff. That's another dead giveaway. And then we've got the seat belts that are also in red. We've got the nice mats. If you can see through here, I've got to unwrap them. That's one of the first things that I do. I still haven't done that yet. I apologize. And it's a convertible, so very decent build. We've got the carbon fiber on here as well. I was showing you guys in a previous episode how much I really like this brushed aluminum speaker head, the leather wrapped with the red stitching, and then the Adrenaline Red in here. This to me is a very classy interior, and it's an iconic Corvette interior. There's going to be a lot of red on this vehicle. You can already see that we have the calipers done in that as well, and you can't go wrong with that kind of interior. You know, red, everyone always says to me, hey, like, what do you think about red? Is it been overdone? You can't overdo Torch Red. It's a Corvette. When I close my eyes, even though I have a ceramic matrix gray Corvette, I think about a Corvette in red. That's what everyone does. And when you see a red Corvette go down the street, you know exactly what you're looking at. So the answer to that question is, do I think that red's been overdone? Absolutely not. Keep ordering it. Don't feel like you're just following suit and being a cliche individual. I don't think that's the case at all. I think it's a statement that you can proudly make, and it's a free option color. So unlike mine, which is $1,000 Canadian, Torch Red is free. So that at the end of the day may justify the cost right then and there. What else do we wanted to talk about? Production right now. This VIN number is 17466. I have heard that there was a couple of days off just for the July 4th holidays. Happy Independence Day to all my Americans out there, and to the Canucks, obviously, happy Canada Day. You know, there was just 2 days that they took off for the July 4th. They usually take a 2-week break. It's a well-deserved break normally, but they've had a lot of time off because of the other shutdowns, and I really appreciate all the folks down at Bowling Green foregoing their normal 2-week vacation to get some more Corvettes out there. We're doing a very good job at pumping these Corvettes out, and I really have nothing bad to report. I think that this is a really optimistic time to be looking at a GM vehicle. I think that, you know, GM is working proactive on a lot of things, and I'm very happy to report that kind of stuff. So if you guys have any questions, if I'm not dealing with a client that's either here or ordering a vehicle with me, I will do my best to get back to you. I apologize. I feel terrible sometimes when I don't get back to people immediately, but have faith that I have acknowledged it. If I put a like or a heart button on the comment, it means that I've read it. And I have a separate mailbox now that I put for all the people that write into me. And whenever I have a chance to sit down for a couple of hours, I try to hammer them out all at once. So if I haven't responded to you immediately, it doesn't mean that I haven't got it. It just probably means that it's in a mailbox that I'm then going to go through them all at once. I want to make sure that I really sit down and I think about it. Some of you guys are really remarkable for putting the trust in me and asking me, you know, hey, do these seatbelts go with this combination? And I really like that kind of stuff. I think that at the end of the day, that's my favorite thing to do, is to interact with people from around the world and help them out in building and designing Corvettes. And I'm really excited to start using these new colors. Now, the General Motors has just opened up 22s, so I can start putting in 22 model year builds. So that's a really good sign that they're going to be starting to accept orders in the very near future. Last week, I got a huge amount of Escalades, Corvettes, Tahoes, everything. I got about 40 vehicles last week. This week I got next to nothing. So it's kind of interesting how right now sometimes the floodgates open quite a bit for me up in Canada, and sometimes there's nothing at all. My spidey senses tell me that we're going to be starting to accept 22 orders very soon. And I also think that it's going to be in a similar situation where unfortunately in Canada we're going to be placing orders without having the pricing completely out yet. So as of right now, I don't have the pricing. I do have the ability to order them as of yesterday. And just putting them in the system. So I'm going to be starting to contact a lot of people that are on my list and getting their builds ready. So I normally try to do the top 20 people and starting that process of letting you take my Corvette out with me, getting an idea of how you know, all the options and features are, and then putting together your build. So I'm going to be doing a lot of design sessions over the next few weeks. So if you're in the top 20 on my list, I am going to be contacting you, and we're going to start putting together the options. And have faith that once the pricing is out, I will let you know about that. I won't ever really let you be in a situation where, you know, you're putting in an order and you don't really know how much it is, but you also can correlate that information with the previous 21 model year pricing to kind of know whereabouts you're going to be. We don't know exactly how much it'll be, but normally Canada follows suit with the Americans in the exchange rate on the price increases. So I think that that's at this point the safest bet for us. So yeah, a lot of awesome things to talk about. We got a lot of Corvette stuff going on right now. I'm really excited to hear some feedback from you guys and also interact with my clients that are on the list. So stay tuned and happy motoring.